A very good afternoon to our distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, members of the NGA, incoming, or current, I should say, and outgoing executive members. It's been 2 days of robust discussions. We have touched on a variety of issues. There has been a policy discourse. We have looked at matters relating to gas infrastructure. We've discussed local content. We've talked about the funding of our projects. And of course, the gas to power debate, which I dare say was the most robust and engaging in the last 2 days because it touches on each and every one of us. A few things have been said which are imperative for us to take away. One, it's not how much of the resources that we have, it's what we do with them. That's a very strong statement, and it's actually a challenge to us as a country and as individual participants within the gas value chain, and specifically for the NGA in our advocacy role and our role and commitment in driving investments in that sector. Secondly, we have heard that much as we are concerned with security of supply, there's an imperative for us to be looking at the demand side of the question. So, for those of us who have bankable projects, we have been told there are various agencies that we can engage with. We've looked at and advocated for increased local participation. We've agreed there are several of us companies who are positioning to take that space, but we need to see more traction. We've acknowledged the contributions of the NNPC. We always have to give kudos where it is due, as they have advanced some of the 7 critical projects they've identified. We've also listened to the NCDMB and very laudable achievements, and then try to agree how we can move that level of achievement forward. If there is one thing that is clear, the gas sector remains a veritable channel through which Nigeria can rapidly achieve its industrialization aspirations. As we said earlier, between the ERGP, which is looking to do different things, and one of the key things that for me is very attractive is that rapidly industrializing by building capacity among our SMEs. We have talked about power, we have talked about institutionalization, training, transfer of knowledge and technology. We have talked about the fact that gas is the enabler of the power sector, and we've seen a clear correlation between the level of electricity generation and GDP. Lots of food for thought. We've also agreed over the last 2 days that it's time for us to stop talking and begin to act. Is that correct? Yes, it is. It's time for us to act. Now, on behalf of the Council of the NGA, our commitment is that it will not be another talk shop in 2 years. We have to do this. We have to do this. We have kept up a high level of engagement, as we said earlier, with policymakers, with our legislators, with our members across board. We are speaking to regional participation and integration across the West Africa region, Sub-Sahara as a whole, and indeed we need to be thinking beyond that, Africa-wide. We have elevated the conversation to put Nigeria in the discourse at the International Gas Union level. What we'll be doing going forth is to take all the different sessions, the key learnings from there, some of the actionable things that we believe are doable, and we're going to put them in a communique which we would share with the Vice President's office. The Honorable Minister, who, thank you very much, sir, despite a very, very intense schedule, has met up with his commitments to be here. We really appreciate that. We're coming back to you. We're coming back to you with the things that we have seen as veritable actions from this last 2 days that the government can take on. And we know that private sector is willing to partner to do great things with our gas space and industrialize this country. I want to believe that it has been time very well spent. Our thanks again will go to our sponsors for your commitment to the NGA. Our thanks would go to the individual participants who have come from various places. We have people from Ghana, from Singapore. We have a crew that came in from England and across the country. Thank you all very much for coming. The NGA is and will remain that non-partisan voice that speaks for the entire industry value chain, speaking to how we can ramp up the pace and scale of innovation so that we can move our gas industry forward. We don't just want to be talking about the number of reserves that we have, whether it's 198 TCF or it's 202 as GMD updated us on. Those are not the issues. We want to see action. We want to see change. We want to see that next generation engage fruitfully. And the only way we can do that is build capacity, build industry. We want to see the outcome in GBIs that are spread across the country. Ladies and gentlemen, I could go on. It's a space I'm passionate about. But what is most important is that it's been 2 days of engagement that will definitely make transformation. Our commitment as NGA is to keep up the discourse, but more importantly, to back it up with a new level of action. Thank you once again to the outgoing.